Hi everybody, welcome to Seed Homes. My name is Arden Stiles and I'm the Chief Commercial Officer here at Seed. I'm also a SAIT alumni. I was a business instructor starting in January 2024 for that semester. Taught organizational behavior. Had a great time, met some great students. Let me show you around Seed Homes. So what we have here, this is our smallest home. This is 408 square feet. And what's interesting about this home is it's made almost entirely out of steel. And we based this design on our sister company designs. So we have a very strong industrial heritage that goes into each one of these homes. Built entirely of steel. You'll see that there's a sloped roof, so it's very easy to get permitting, especially in Canada. And this is 408 square feet, so it's a perfect space to put in your backyard or a laneway home application or an additional space that you need. It could be for a gym or your in-laws or grandparents or kids. So let's have a look here. One of the things you'll notice here is that all the walls are made out of this steel. This is 22 gauge steel. So there's no siding, there's nothing to rot, and there's very low maintenance. Come around to the front of the home. It's about 22 by 20 feet wide. This entire wall assembly system can fold once and then it folds twice up into the back of the home here. So that allows you to put this entire home on the back of a train, truck, or ship, and it can be shipped intermodally anywhere in the world. It's also not an oversized load, so you save a lot of money in shipping. If you come around to the front of the home, you'll see that we have lots of windows that lets in a lot of natural light. If you come up with me into the home itself, so welcome inside the Seed Homes studio. You'll notice right away that we have very high ceiling heights, up to 10 feet. And all this space, you can easily put a queen-size bed here with 2 end tables, and the rest is a contiguous living area. Over here, you'll notice the bathroom. We'll put a barn door here that slides in and out, and you've got a beautiful full-size bathroom, full-size shower stall, sink, and toilet. If you look closely here at the walls as well, Seed Homes, we don't use any drywall. We use a product called Truscore. This is made out of recycled PVC plastic. Very low maintenance, very resilient, no mold, no off-gassing. You don't have to paint, mud, or sand anywhere in the home. Over here, we have the kitchen. Plenty of space. Normal size appliances, very high ceiling height, nice big window. Full-size, beautiful refrigerator. We have a range system here and a sink and a dishwasher ready to go. Beautiful countertops. And then if you follow me here, this is where the HVAC system is being installed. You can put on-demand hot water here, state-of-the-art iFlow systems, very efficient, and your electrical panel here. This entire home can be shipped on the back of a truck, and it's a non-oversized load. We're getting lots of interest throughout the world for this exact design. If you take a look here too, you'll notice that it's one contiguous space. So there's no requirement for any walls or load-bearing walls inside here because the steel walls themselves create the structural integrity of the home. And once again, this wall folds down, that wall folds down, this wall folds on top of both, and then the entire assembly folds into this solid steel utility corridor. That entire thing is shrink-wrapped and shipped anywhere in the world. Fully assembled, ready to go. Hi again, everybody. So what you see behind me here, this is our largest Seed Homes model. This is called a Haven. This is about 44 feet long and 10 feet high. And this is a double fold model. So we have 2 wall systems that fold out, creating a tremendous amount of floor space. The other thing you'll notice here is all the steel that we use. So once this home is placed on a site, it's there pretty much forever because the steel is so resilient. There's nothing to rot, there's nothing to mold, there's nothing for termites to eat, and there's no siding or shingles to replace. So a very low maintenance lifestyle. These homes are up to 35% more efficient than a similarly built wooden home. And if you follow me over here, you'll see the central utility corridor. So this is going to be shipped off-site down to the United States. This entire area is the corridor, and in here is one of the bathrooms. So you can have up to 3 bedrooms in this home, 2 bathrooms. You can see we've got the hot and cold water lines all set up to go. They'll be putting toilets here and a full-size shower. And in the distance, you can see the utility corridor, where we'll have an integrated washer and dryer, on-demand hot water system, and a state-of-the-art iFlow HVAC system. All of this gets put on the back of a truck and shipped anywhere in the world. What you're seeing here is the ensuite bathroom of the master bedroom area of the Haven home. Nice big door here. The master bedroom will be here. You walk in, his and her sinks, toilet, and a full-size shower. And you'll notice just how high the ceilings are here. It's 10 feet up. This is higher than my conventional home. You can see how high it is. You'll also notice all the steel throughout. So nothing to rot, nothing to mold. I'm standing on the floor, which is made out of magnesium cement. And we use magnesium cement because there's no off-gassing, it's water resistant, mold resistant, and fire resistant. Far better than using a floor made out of wood. So what you see here are steel coils. We get these from suppliers locally, and the steel arrives, and what we do is we uncoil the steel and roll it through a panel former system. The panel former creates a profile of the steel, and that's what we use to create the walls of every seed home. They're bolted together. We put vapor barrier and spray foam insulation, and we can adjust the R values depending on the climate conditions of where the home is going to. We have homes going as far north as Canada's Arctic, all the way down to Central America. So a seed home is suitable for any climate on Earth. Why don't you start, Nick?
Yeah, sure, yeah. No, so my name is Nick Josephs. I am a mechanical engineer by trade. Previously have had experience in our manufacturing and construction. So pre-manufactured solutions from the factory, industrializing the construction process. Came on board with Seed Homes recently. I'm heading up our engineering side, so I'm the vice president of engineering. We're working on our manufacturing, our structural engineering, kind of a couple different aspects that work in that structural engineering on the operational side. So.
All right. Yeah. Hi, everybody. So my name is Arden Stiles. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of Seed Homes, also one of the founders of the company. I'm a previous instructor at SAIT as well in the January 2024 semester, taught organizational behavior. So that was a lot of fun. Met a lot of students. It's a great campus. So I came here because I'm a partner of a previous company as well, which still exists. It's called CGen Environmental Group. And the industrial design DNA of what we do there is what we do here in the homes. So at CGen, we do industrial noise control and industrial enclosures for very large gas compressor stations, energy companies, and we ship that product all over the world. And we take that same design DNA element and apply it within a seed home. So you're getting a home, but it's built like a tank to industrial standards. So there's all sorts of cool things around that, and we'll get into it. But that's where I come from, yeah. Go ahead, Nick. You take that one. Okay.
I would say we are providing a housing solution that's available for everybody. So whether, I know Arden can speak more to this, but whether it's a starter house or if we are tailoring towards the more higher end market, we can provide a solution start to finish for a customer in that regards.
Yeah, really we provide affordable quality homes. So if you want a very expensive double stacked home with lots of square footage, we can provide that, but it's still affordable. So it's an accessible home built to incredible quality standards. That's really what it's about. The other main things about seed homes is that they're made almost entirely out of steel. So the resiliency behind the build is fantastic. We can build them to specifications to any climate on Earth as well. And we'll get into the technical specifications of that in a few minutes. But the other great thing about these homes is the fact that we've designed them so that the walls can fold into a central utility corridor, and that entire assembly can be shrink wrapped and shipped intermodally anywhere in the world. So we're getting interest from countries as far away as Nigeria, and we're building homes and shipping them up to Canada's Arctic as well.
Our buildings are all steel. So our wall panels are steel, our superstructure is steel, roof cladding, joist structures, everything is steel. Our subfloor is a ZS2 magnesium oxide cement board. So it's a 3/4 inch tongue and groove subfloor solution. We are looking to eliminate all of our wood products in the building for resistance to mold and mildew, for just the resiliency of the builds. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that, Aaron?
Because of the materials we use, the home itself is very resilient. So as Nick was mentioning, there's no mold, there's no off-gassing, there's nothing to rot, there's nothing for termites to eat, and they're fire resistant. So we're getting a lot of interest from Los Angeles County, for example, all the way up to the Northwest Territories because of climate change. So those municipalities cannot build using traditional materials anymore. They have to look at different types of materials at the same or less cost base, and that's what we do here.
So with our builds, our construction assemblies, we start, let's say we were to model a house in Calgary for our building performance. How does our building perform in the climate here? So right now, if we were to analyze our buildings from a performance metric, we would be about 30 to 40% better than the National Energy Code of Canada. If we were to add solar panels to a model of our house, we would ultimately jump above that 40%. And that would be reduction in heating costs or reduction in power usage, all of those things.
Yeah, because the way the building is put together and assembled, it's very tight. So there's very little leakage through the walls of the windows, for example, and also the airspace. So if you think about a traditional home, there's a lot of air in there that you have to heat. So the seed home, there's less air to heat. We use state-of-the-art iFlow HVAC systems, and we use, for example, low-velocity ducting. So what's happening there is there's air circulating throughout the home continuously, rather than on and off with a traditional furnace. So that adds to the efficiency rating.
Exactly.
And the homes can be completely off-grid if that's required or requested by the owner.
Yeah, so for a solar solution, let's say we could position that as an off-grid solution. The components in the house from heating, cooling would get adjusted to be tailored towards the available energy sources. So off-grid is basically you're self-sustained. So we don't have to hook up to a power connection. We don't have to hook up to a natural gas connection or water. So there's different levels of off-grid, whether it's power, gas, heating, cooling, and water as well. We do have water recycling technologies with UV filtration that we can install in the homes as well. So you're recycling 80 to 90% of the water you're actually using through showers, through sinks, gray water, stuff like that.
Right. So we get asked all the time, can I install this? I have a property somewhere, but it's not connected. There's no electricity. There's nothing there. But you want to live in something other than a tent. So a seed home is perfect for that because you can install it there and you don't need plumbing, electricity, water, gas. It can all be completely self-sustained.
So absolutely. So each home that will get installed on site will go through a permitting, a codes and compliance sequence and checklist for sure. Our plant is CSA A277 certified. So we are certified through the Canadian body to manufacture these houses, and safety codes officers and municipalities will recognize that standard for that permitting process. So all of your plumbing inspections, any conventional traditional inspections that would happen on site would happen in the plant here.
Yeah, so for example, if you want to install a seed home in Calgary versus Edmonton, there may be slight differences in what is required in the home itself, right? So you have to check. As the owner, you have to check that. We can help you navigate it, but you need to check before we commence building. And that becomes particularly acute if it's for different countries as well. For example, last week we got inquiries from Australia, and the electrical system there is totally different. So we would have to build that in here to the code of the Australian standard, and then ship the entire thing down there. Yeah.
So it does case by case basis for sure, as well as with our structural engineering kind of ties in and similarly to that with snow loading, wind loading, stuff like that. So there is a case by case basis for sure, depending on geographic location.
But in the vast majority of the cases, it's like any other home. It's like any other home. Same electrical outlets, same. So it's not a big leap for an inspector to approve it, especially since we have sloped roofs. So in Canada, you need a sloped roof for the snow loads, right? Other modular homes, they're flat roofs, so it's difficult to get the permits. But ours have a sloped roof, and we've done that on purpose so that the permitting would be easier.
Go for it. You take that one first.
Right. So it's a great question, and we get asked that all the time. First of all, overall, a seed home is around 30 to 50% less costly than a traditionally built home. So the cost savings are significant. That's a big difference. Number two, as Nick touched on, the seed home is built out of very resilient materials like steel. So you can ask yourself, would I rather live in a home made out of steel or wood? Right? Most people say steel, as long as the costs make sense. The other thing is the time factor. So you can order a seed home and you can have it shipped and delivered. We are shooting for now 12 weeks, whereas you could wait up to 2 years for a traditional home, right? And part of the reason for that is we can build it off-site in our facility here, year-round, doesn't matter the weather, and then ship it. Whereas if you're building a traditional home, the weather has to be good.